Good evening, everyone. So this is regarding poultry production and Lachance bile acid application in India. So I will not get into the detail of the poultry production. Rather, I will give a brief overview of poultry population. The concept of the bile acid, actually, it was started in India almost 3 years back. And the good that it is acts as a perfect emulsifier because the bile acid there is no you can say because it's a new product, hence to promote the customer, to convince the customer that where the product position is. So this is very difficult to position the product initially, so that need to understand well. We will be going through few of the slides. And obviously it's very important to focus on the liver health because liver is one of the most vital organ that need to be taken care of because it is indicative of bird's health. If performance of the liver would be good, then the bird is going to perform well. It reduces fatty liver condition. It's improved bioavailability of fat soluble vitamin. This improves egg cell strength. And then summary, this would be the backdrop of my presentation. Indian poultry population and overview, almost broiler population is 65 million metric ton, and out of this, almost 90% is integration, and rest are the individual farmers. The number of the farmer are there in the millions. The layered population is 350 million and close to 129 billion eggs produced annually. 40 million breeders. Out of 40 million breeders, close to 32 million is broiler breeder, and rest 80 million is this means 8 million is layer breeders. Growth of the layer is close to 6% for the last 10 years. So is the broiler, the growth is more. The poultry feed production is close to 30 million metric tons. Out of this total poultry sector, 80% is organized sector. 80% is organized sector and 15% is semi-organized. The semi-organized sector, you can say the sector which is backed by the government for underprivileged, or you can say the poor people, government support for a small farm rearing. They give it 100,000, 2,000 birds and they rear it. And that is prevalent both in the broiler and the layer segment. Even infrastructure for that is being developed and given to the farmer free of cost by the government to support the livelihood for underprivileged people or the poor people. And rest 5% of the poultry segment is unorganized. This is the broiler segment trend for the last 10 to 12 year. See, the growth is close to 5%, while the population from 3, you can say close to 2 million metric tons, it has gone to 6.5 million metric tons. And the layer population, particularly the egg production, is 129 million billion eggs is produced. Obviously, the Indian population is also know India is right now its highest population is close to 1.5 billion people are there in India. Hence, obviously, accordingly, the number of the egg also should be more. The egg is 129 billion, and in comparison to egg production, the layer population not has increased. It's you can say for the past 10 year, if from 15 you can say crore, or you can say 150 million, it has gone to 350 million. The reason being that earlier egg production was close to 260. Thereafter, literally now it has gone to 315 per year. And not only this, the other thing is earlier, you can say 5 to 10 years back, people used to cull the birds around 72 weeks of age. But now the recent trend, people are culling the birds around, you can say 115 or 120 weeks. And the same birds giving more production, hence the growth, you can say in terms of the egg production has being seen is more in terms of the eggs than that of layer birds. The concept of the bile acid, I already mentioned, it was just 3 years old story in Indian market, and it was very tough to convince the customer. I won't say the tough because it's means it's challenging to convince the people where to use, how to use, and what is the significance of it, and what is benefit the customer is going to get it. But indeed, it's a very good and marvelous product. And the closest segment of the product was emulsifier, because if any product you want to, if you go to the customer where the product would be sold, ultimately there should be certain category, and the closest segment was emulsifier. But the moment you will compare with the product with the emulsifier, in terms of the pricing, there is no comparison. Hence, that is also a challenging. But then the differentiation come into force, and the difference is indeed phenomenal. There is a lot of advantages over emulsifier. We will see in the coming slides, and the range of applications very impressive, because the emulsifier is only for use for the emulsification, but it will use for the emulsification of fat, it will use for the mobilization of fat, it will use for the fatty liver syndrome, it is used even to control uh, pest event, it is used to improve egg cell quality, it is used to improve the carcass quality. As my previous speaker talked about the carcass quality, indeed it improves the juiciness and tenderness of the chicken. So we are going to see some practical the benefits of it. And prior to it, I mentioned that it is different than that of emulsifier, that need to understand, because the bile acid promote emulsification, digestion, and absorption of the fat first and the foremost, that is role of any emulsifier. But it does it with excellence. Bile acid takes part in the nutrient transportation and absorption, while also work in signaling molecules to solve fatty liver disease. And that is the fatty liver is quite a common disease in the layers and the breeder, and every layers and the breeder mostly this goes into this phase in certain part of, you can say, it's a lifespan that we'll be discussing in the succeeding slides. Bile acid promote secretion of bile, removal of harmful substances, and prevent bile duct blockage. Bile acid bind endotoxins and render them harmless. Accelerated detoxification of mycotoxins, increase the addition and non-conventional feed ingredients. Its applications is broiler, and broiler uses of emulsifier is more common, and largely it is used in, you can say, finisher stage, starter stage, and less in you can say pre-starter stage. But in fact, it is required in all the stages, no doubt. The oil used less in pre-starter than a starter and finisher. But the irony is we use less oil because that is you can say that is not metabolized well in early phases, because the bile acid production is less. Hence, early supplementation is going to help, because anyway, if the birds or the chicks of the younger chicks having capacity or potential to less produce bile acid, hence exogenous supplementation of the bile acid is going to help out there. And as the passage of the time in a starter and finisher, the in with increase in the oil percentage, is requires more of the emulsifier or better emulsifier that can help. So even in that condition, we can say that this product is requires in the all phases of the life to enhance first digestion and absorption of emulsifier. This is emulsifier is used, and most of the times liver protectant used in feed and water. In Indian condition, liver, as already mentioned, it's one of the master or biggest gland of the body and required to be healthy. And Indian people use mostly liver protectant or liver stimulant throughout the lifespan. And in that condition, we have replaced those products with Runion, because the Runion has played a very pivotal role, or you can say central role in or acting as a hepatoprotectant and hepatostimulant. This is about emulsification property. Indeed, the requirement is for the birds or for the poultry or industry is water in oil type, not in oil and water type. The water and oil type, because we need to emulsify the oil where the major percentage is the water only. Hence, the emulsifier having higher HLV value would be considered better. And the Runion is the best because there is no emulsifier having such high HLV value with high the balance tilted toward hydrophilic emulsification property. So this is already has been said, hence I won't focus on this. This is the trial. The objective of the trial to substantiate the claim that it reduces certain extent. You say it's close to 30 kilocalorie, means it's energy sparing effect, and indeed it has shown that it has great energy sparing effect. And then we have also studied, because it's emulsification property, whether emulsifier can be replaced, whether liver stimulant can be replaced or not. And then we have also studied that choline chloride replacement. The choline chloride is also having, you can say, lipophilic property, or it is used to offset the negative effect or detrimental effect of the fat. So there we have reduced 50% of choline chloride as well. And you can see right from the beginning, from the 7 days to 42 days, the performance in the treatment group, it was 200 gram of Runion was used, and liver stimulant and 50% of choline chloride was reduced. Even then, after this, the performance in the treatment group with the Runion was much better than that of control. So this is the one trial. Even the FCR was better at all level. The livability was better. EPI was even better. So this showing the performance is good at all level. And the another trial, this was to study its negative effect. Negative effect, I means by reducing 30 kilocalorie, and further removing emulsifier, liver stimulant, and 50% choline chloride. There also we have seen that the STD progress or STD performance. This indicates the product has done reasonably well. And this another trial, in this case, this negative control is 30 kilocalorie energy. Then liver tonic was also replaced, means in the last one, the black one. And the yellow one is 30 kilocalorie energy replaced, but liver tonic, emulsifier, and 50% of the CC was still there in the formulation. And the third one was the negative control, Runion, and nothing was there, means liver tonic, emulsifier, and choline chloride wasn't there. Still, the performance was much better. The other group, the control and the negative control group with liver tonic and emulsifier. This indicates that the product not only have done in terms of the performance or ROI, it balances performance as well as reduces the feed cost as well. FCR is good at all level. This is we can be compared in all the three groups. Even livability and EPA is also better with the Runion, and minus liver tonic, choline chloride, and emulsifier. This is about the trial. This is very interesting. You can say the fact we have brought it, because we haven't I come across with this type of information from Lachance also. But India, it's a peculiar observation we have found across industry. IBH means inclusion body hepatitis is a, you can say these days it's a very ironic disease in India because it's taking heavy mortality, and the mortality is close to 2 to 20%. At times even more than this. And in IBH, what happened that the liver gets affected. Obviously, this Ronian or the bile acid, it's not going to protect means IBH or adenovirus, because no way, no medicaments is very effective against the virus. But the thing is, the organ which is most affected is liver. If the liver is going to be taken care of, kidney going to be taken care of, the impact of the IBH used to be less. So this we have seen with few of the big integrators. It's not initially we promoted this. This the feedback we received from the customer, and wheresoever they had used the product during the IBH, that has used the product in the cases of the IBH, it has shown very good response in comparison to non-used the birds. Runion helps to reduce the mortality in comparison to other birds, normalizes liver color, and ensures the faster recovery. Once the disease is over, if the birds has to recover, this usually helps to recover from the IBH losses. This was the trial for the customer. He was taking it only to assess the product, and incidentally, he found the flock affected with IBH. This was the flock constituting of six control group, six Runion group, and the bot stocked was in control is 39,000, and Runion it was 25,000. Mortality in the control group was 8.54%, while that of Runion group was 6.7, almost 2% less. Even the FCR is quite good. You can see 1.71 and 1.83 means 0.08 points FCR is the less. The body weight was even good, 1.81 to 1.89, and the daily gain was also more. And EEF factor is 252 and 296. So all this parameter indicates at the all level that this product has done well even in the IBH cases. So this is the observation that we could document, but there are n number of the places which product being used in the cases of IBH, and in this case, considering the better or 0.8 FCR, that the feed save is, for those birds is almost 3,734 kg. That correspond to almost 4.3 rupees per bird. And the cost of the Runion is going to be close to 0.24%. So this, if you will correspond into the investment, just in terms of the performance, is close to 23 times. So obviously the money is worth spending in these cases as well. And the next application is in broiler, particularly the pesticide condition. My previous speaker is talked about how the heat index plays role in the particularly the mortality, and we have seen in our areas, particularly Indian coastal belt, there is wind pesting. Obviously, because in that condition or heat increment is high, then the fat absorption or fat utilization comes under question, and it's not optimal. And this we have seen in during rainy season as well, and more often seen that in finisher stage a high fat content also used, that is not, if it is not properly you can say utilized or metabolized, that lead to fatty acid condition. When you look at ether extract, suppose if you want to assess it whether this pesticide condition, it's not like the pesticide condition if it is due to salmonella or E. coli or any other thing it's going to treat. Obviously, that pesticide condition which has occurred due to metabolic disorders. In that condition, you will find that extract in the feces or the fat content in the feces would be more. Then you will, if this product is used, we find the response was quite good. And this usually it's happened due to poor food fat absorption. Increasing dose of plain emulsifier sometimes helps, but with the use of the bile acid, particularly runion, we have seen a quite good result. And the next is the visceral fat deposition is quite common, whether kidney, abdomen, and bile acid starter and finisher usually helps to remove bile acid, and the fat percentage or the visceral, you can say, the carcass percentage increases when it is used. Normally, some emulsifier are used in the broiler feed. When need to fatten up, people use additional the fat. The birds gain weight, but a lot of visceral fat accumulation observed. In this situation, particularly the bile acid substitutes, and it substitutes well and effectively. Particularly in the layers and the breeders, it is used for uniform growth, better liver health, for prolonged peak production, improves, you can say, production, even egg cell quality, and in late peak or laying period, old base birds are anyway get affected due to the fatty liver condition, and it's really excels in that condition. And the fatty liver condition, particularly in the older birds or abdominal deposition of the fat, high, you can say, energy intake, even high energy due to the contact, energy type of the source or balance between the fat and the starch. Even the cage system observed more of this, the fatty liver syndrome, and even the mycotoxins that damages the liver that lead to fatty liver syndrome, and even the hormones as well. High energy intake. Even they did the practice to offset the high price of the feed. People go for amino acid supplementation and reducing the crude protein. There also we have seen that more of fatty liver condition, and certain extent hereditary and the stress. And particularly the T liver develops due to hepatic and extrahepatic fat deposition of the hens. And surprisingly, we have seen that after use of this product, even the visceral fat also has reduced. Although this is very difficult to digest it, but this is observation from the field. This is about the fatty liver condition. I am not getting into detail of it. This is fatty liver, kidney syndrome or hemolytic syndrome. It's a high in particularly than cage birds due to restricted movement. Among cage bird, environmentally controlled ones are the more susceptible to this disease. Liver protectants helps. Excess choline tries to remove the fat, but the thing is excess choline, people use even 3 to 4 kg of the choline chloride. But if you are using 3 to 4 kg of the choline chloride, your dietary electrolyte balance DEB is going to change. If DEB is going to change in that condition, the birds is going to suffer due to, you can say, dirty feces or diarrhea or wet litter condition is bound to come. But the bile acid prevents further deposits by working on parathormones in layers and the breeders. This is the data provided by Lachance that it's improved the bioavailability of the fat soluble vitamin, and these vitamins are the key vitamins: vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. You can see as per the data which suggests that the all level liver in the liver and the serum, bile acid supplemented with the 200 gram and 400 gram, the viability is much better in comparison to the control. This indicates that it's increases the viability of vitamins close to 5 to 10%. So that's also, you can justify its uses and cost effectiveness. And overall color of the liver represents the bud health. If you see the color is typical cherry mahogany color, you can say that the bird is in good condition. and the bird is liver is called biochemical factory of the birds, because all biochemical processes takes place in the liver only, whether it's enzymatic secretion, detoxification potential of the organ, metabolic performance. So what's of the metabolism, whether it's protein, whether it's carbohydrate, whether it's fat, all that the center place of the action is the liver only. Hence, liver has to be healthy. Even excretion, when we talk about the immune functions, immune function, immunoglobulin, that is also protein. That is also processed from the liver only. Hence, the liver is very important and the critical organ to keep the bird healthy. Runion, indeed, it keeps the bird's health, liver good. It keeps in the good shape and the good color. That indicates that the bird should perform well. In summary, bile acid gives good performance in the broiler when used as a substitute of emulsifier and liver tonic regulated doses of choline chloride. Bile acid gives good performance even if you reduce energy. We have worked up to 50 kilocalorie. With the previous speaker, we have seen that she has reduced around 50 kilocalorie and 100 kilocalorie as well. That also, going further, we can take up that study that how it works in those negative control parameter as far as the energy is concerned. Liver stimulant and hepatoprotectant, which is very commonly user practice in India, that anyway it can be replaced, and the so as lipotropic product choline chloride we have reduced by 50%, some and somewhere at 75%, and has given excellent results without any doubt or any hiccups wheresoever people are using it. Bile acid reduces the incidence of vent pasting or dirty bumps in the broiler. This is also has been shared by customer and the consultants. Bile acid reduces the mortality in laying hens due to fatty liver condition. And to come up on the fatty liver condition, people use 3 to 4 kg of choline chloride, even the liquid choline, liver tonic, toxin binder, and there also it's don't come. And to come to the respectable level of the performance usually takes 15 to 30 days. And we have seen at optimum number of the places within 7 days, it has shown a phenomenal recovery with this product. Bile acid reduces excessive abdominal fat deposits. Bile acid improves the liver health and egg cell quality. It improves egg production and reduces breakage as well. That is obviously because it's increased the absorption of fat soluble vitamin, particularly vitamin D. Helps in the faster recovery from the toxins, IBH, and other liver associated diseases or disorders. Thank you.